Everyone knows that I've always supported Lucas. It's been 5 years. In order to win the bet with his boss, I've put a lot of thought into it. Everyone thought I would try to win Lucas over. I casually pointed to the new actor standing in the back. He'll do, and then I continued. Recently, the doctor told me to eat lighter. There was a sudden silence. After a while, the man whose name was called walked up to me. His face was beet red, whispered to me, "Emily, are you trying to seduce me at the banquet?" Everyone was toasting each other. Some were sincere, some were insincere. Someone said to me, "Emily has a good eye. This movie has made at least a few $100 million. Whether it makes money or not is not the point. The point is that the movie's international ranking surpassed the one that Anderson Group invested in just a few days ago. It is now in the top 3 worldwide." I smiled. I raised my glass in a certain direction. Everyone looked in the direction I was looking. There were people from the Anderson Group. The group was now managed by Sophia. She strode over. Her tone was dismissive. "Emily, you've had a stroke of luck. There's no need to be so smug." Then she said bluntly, "We at the Anderson Group always keep our word. Tell me, what do you want? I'm thinking about it." A rustling sound came from nearby. Someone said, "Lucas, Emily has been your follower for 5 years. She won't take advantage of this bet to steal you away. It's because Lucas is so handsome. Even Emily is willing to shine your shoes. Tusk, you are so lucky. That time I shined your shoes. It was because I heard that there was a heavy rainstorm where Lucas was filming. I was so worried about him, so I took a plane, then a high-speed train, then a bus. I finally saw him at the end of the village on a tricycle, as soon as he saw me. He said, 'Go buy me some shoes. It's raining every day. My shoes are ruined.' Everyone knows that Lucas is very particular about his shoes, but in this remote place. I didn't know where to buy him new shoes in no time. Seeing the shoes on his feet, which were covered in mud, I told him without hesitation to take them off. I immediately helped him clean them in the film crew. After I finished brushing his shoes, I had to rush off again because of work. I didn't expect those paparazzi to be so dedicated. They followed me in the pouring rain. The next day, the Twitter trending topic suddenly appeared. Emily rides a Trishaw to the film set for love. Did she just come to brush Lucas' shoes? When I thought about it, I saw the men's gazes directed at me with a hint of disgust. "Emily, I'm not going with you." I froze for a moment. My eyes jumped past the people in front of me. I pointed at the last person in the back. That's him. Lucas looked a little surprised. He asked me with wide eyes, "Emily, what are you playing at?" I ignored him, then I spoke. "Recently, my doctor recommended that I eat lighter." Suddenly, the room fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. After a while, a small voice came from somewhere. Emily was saying something about Lucas being oily. The veins on Lucas' forehead twitched slightly. If it had been before, I would have definitely found him particularly charming, very handsome. Now that I looked closely, he did look a bit oily. After a while, the man who had been standing in the back row just now came up to me. He looked even more handsome up close than on the screen. His face was clean and white. It was angular. It exuded a certain coolness. His lips were rosy and full. He must be a good kisser. Then, his face flushed, he whispered to me, "Emily, are you trying to seduce me?" This sentence made me almost spit out the 1982 red wine in my mouth. I quickly covered my mouth, took a deep breath, and forced the red wine down my throat. Stammering to him, I said, I watched your web series before. It's called Ryan. Right, you seem quite talented. I want to invite you to make a movie." He touched the back of his head. He let out a little embarrassed sound. But I could hear a hint of disappointment in his tone. The party was over. I asked Jessica to take Ryan back to the company. I was drunk. I was in a hurry to find the toilet. Suddenly, a dark figure blocked my way. "Emily, did you do this on purpose? Are you trying to get my attention? You can forget it." I couldn't help it. I was desperate to push Lucas away, but he thought I wanted to hug him. He took a few steps back with a cold face. "Emily, are you trying to get photographed by the paparazzi again? Do you like it when people spread rumors about us? I'll tell you clearly. I will never agree to it in my life." At that moment, if I could put a mosaic on what I was thinking. I guess you would be able to see a bunch of garbled code floating above my head. Lucas, is there something wrong with you? I just want to go to the bathroom. You're the one who dragged me here, after all that talk, and saying I wanted to start a scandal with you. Don't worry, from now on, we'll go our separate ways. I won't be bothering you again, after that. I turned around and ran towards the bathroom. When I came out, Lucas was gone. The next morning, as soon as I entered the office, I saw Ryan bent over, polishing my coffee table. I have to say, his broad shoulders and narrow hips was quite a sight. Hearing a noise, he stood up immediately. He bowed politely. Emily, good morning. His voice was loud and impressive. Young people are different. I nodded. I was about to sit down. He brought another cup of coffee from somewhere. A hot Americano, no sugar. I'm not used to being served. I felt a bit uncomfortable. My aunt would do these things. I transferred you from Anderson Group. I didn't hire you to serve tea. I hired you to act, understand. After listening to him, it seemed like he had heard some secret. He spoke in a low voice. I understand. Jessica told me everything. Although I understood what he said, the tone of his voice was a bit ambiguous. It made me feel that what he said was not quite what I had in mind. I didn't have time to think about it. Jessica said that someone from Anderson Group was here. In the blink of an eye, Lucas swaggered through the door of my office and walked in. He acted like he was going home. He walked with a straight face to the sofa, sat down and crossed his legs. He did everything in a neat and tidy manner. Emily, I came here to give you the contract that Ryan signed with Anderson Group. That's all. Don't think too much about it. I didn't even look up. I casually said, "Oh." Lucas suddenly stood up. He slammed the contract on the table. He said sternly, "You will regret this." After saying that, he angrily pushed open the door and left. Ryan and I looked at the door in confusion. We exchanged glances. The atmosphere suddenly became quiet. I was about to speak when the man in front of me asked me in a tone of voice full of grievances, "Emily, did you bring me into the company just to anger Lucas in your eyes? Am I just a tool?" He spoke in a very soft voice, like a stray cat hiding in an alley. It's just like the old me. It's heartbreaking, I sighed. My hand unconsciously stroked his hair. "No, you're unique." Then, without warning, I suddenly felt a coolness on my lips. His warm palm was resting on the back of my head. At that moment, I felt like I was walking between ice and fire. I even forgot to push him away. My mind was full of. Just as I thought, his lips are really soft. When I came back to my senses, I saw Ryan across from me raising his eyebrows. There was a hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth. The atmosphere became extremely ambiguous. I knew it. You must want to take advantage of me. I shook my head helplessly. Does this kid usually read too many novels? I have to admit, I do have a good eye for work. I chose Ryan because I want to cultivate him well. He has very good external conditions. He is a rare type in the industry nowadays. In the words of netizens, he is a walking hormone. But the web series he filmed before were all school youth idol dramas. To be honest, they weren't really suitable for him. As soon as he joined the company, I asked Jessica to pick a few crime mystery dramas for Ryan. The roles were not big. Most of them were in the second or third tier. There was even a villain. "Emily, you are amazing. Before, you asked Ryan to play the villain in this drama. I really didn't understand. A newcomer playing such a villainous role. At first, it's easy to give the audience a bad impression, and the public reception is also poor. But I didn't expect everyone to like Ryan so much. He's even more popular than the leading actor. That's true, because of Ryan. There's a popular saying on the internet right now, it's not that the villain is bad. It's just that the villain is handsome. The audience all hope that we can give him more roles like this with a bit of a bad boy style. Everyone gathered together, discussing the experience of this successful casting. Suddenly, someone mentioned, in the past, people outside always said we were the copycats of Anderson Group. The copycats of Lucas. Now we have Emily. He led us to participate in the casting together, struggling together. Finally, we don't have to be suppressed by the people from Anderson Group anymore. Looking at these employees who have been with me since the beginning of the company, I suddenly felt a little sad. Because of Lucas, my company has always kept a low profile in the industry, not competing with others. As long as the Anderson Group wanted resources, I would take the initiative to back off. I even gave them directly. I started this company to help Lucas move up in the industry. But now that I think about it, I said firmly, this year, everyone work harder. The year-end bonus will be doubled in the office. There were screams and praise. Due to the popularity of the TV series, the director decided to take advantage of the situation. He decided to make another TV series. Right now, Ryan is still busy on the set. I remember the pleading tone of his voice when he left. Emily, come visit me. A strange feeling suddenly wells up inside me. I've been thinking about it for days. Finally, I decide to go visit the set. This time, they're filming in the Arizona desert. I just arrived on set. I've had a few words with Mr. Johnson. I want to go find Ryan, but I don't know my way around. All the actors' tents look the same, and I'm nearsighted. I can only read the names up close. I walk up to the first tent. I see 6 big letters, the leading man, Lucas. What bad luck, I almost forgot. The leading man in this drama is our very own Lucas. As I'm lost in thought, I don't know when a crowd has gathered around. Look, Emily's here again. Is she here to shine Lucas' shoes again? Seriously. Emily is really persistent. Lucas has rejected her several times in front of the media, and she always takes advantage of her status to run to the set. She's the kind of stalker. She's the one I'm talking about. She's so old. She should look in the mirror. Is she even worthy of our Lucas? I know this girl. Ever since Lucas won the Best Actor award and became more well-known, she joined Lucas' fan club, but she's a bit too fanatical. I've sent people to remind her many times before. Don't get too close to Lucas. It'll affect his career. It seems she hasn't listened at all. But these things don't concern me anymore. I don't want to get involved with these people. I was just about to leave. Then that person came out of the tent. As soon as he saw me, his eyes were full of arrogance. I saw it coming a long time ago. Emily, you're just trying to get my attention with all this drama. You said we were going our separate ways, but now you're running around like a headless chicken. I told you, you'll be sorry. I looked up at him. I heard the condescending tone in his voice. I couldn't help but sneer. Lucas, I'm telling you for the last time. We're done. Don't even think about it. I'm not here for you. Just as I finished speaking, I saw someone in the crowd stick their head out. They waved at me. Emily, this is my tent. You're in the wrong one, Ryan said. I nodded towards him. I said casually, excuse me. I was looking for him. I completely ignored Lucas's furious glare. I walked straight through the crowd towards Ryan. We walked into the tent one after the other, before I could say anything. Ryan suddenly hugged me from behind. He said, Emily, I think about you every day, but you haven't visited me in months. You went straight to Lucas' tent. Don't you miss me at all? He spoke very slowly. His words were clearly enunciated. Each one of them brushed my heart like a feather. I turned around. I gently touched his head. I explained gently. I came to see you. I just accidentally went to the wrong tent. If you don't believe me, you can ask Jessica or anyone else in the company. They all know. After hearing my words, Ryan smiled like a little boy. Then he naturally cupped my face in his hands. A gentle but possessive kiss fell. When I was dizzy from being kissed, I suddenly remembered I am his boss. There is no need to explain so much. I just wanted to push him away, let him know his place. But in his eyes, I had messy hair. My hand was on his chest. It seemed like I was trying to take things further. Ryan was like a young animal that had never tasted meat before. Eagerly, he took off his shirt. At that moment, my eyes nearly popped out of my head. The man opposite me was topless. His body was an inverted triangle. His pecs and abs were firm, and there was a sexy six-pack. His eyes hid a strong desire. I had to admit I was attracted to him. When I was confused, I sighed again. Young people really have great stamina. When I woke up in his bed again, it was almost dark. Ryan was facing away from me, busy with something. Hearing that I had woken up, he said without turning around, Emily, wait a minute. I'll cook you some noodles. I was immediately startled. Again, he looked a little puzzled. Carried the bowl of noodles and tilted his head at me. Cough, cough, just as I thought. Just as I thought. Ryan's really good at cooking. I haven't had such good noodles in a long time. The last time I had them was probably when Lucas' father made them. That's right. I've known Lucas for a long time, even before he entered the entertainment industry. I'm an orphan. I grew up in an orphanage. Children from our place of origin, if no one sponsored you to continue your education, you had to go out and work. I was lucky. I met Lucas's father. He often asked me to go to his noodle shop and eat noodles. He also told me there are 2 chances in life that can change your destiny. One is birth, and the other is the SAT. He also told me his son is named Lucas. He's quite handsome. Since he was a child, he has dreamed of becoming a star. He loves his son very much. I asked him, then why have I never met his son? Lucas' father just smiled and shook his head. Later at the funeral, I heard that Lucas' father had divorced his ex-wife a long time ago. The child was awarded to his ex-wife. That was the first time I met Lucas. In the following years, I studied hard, changed my fate, and opened this company. It was also to help Lucas realize his dream. Emily, why are you crying? Is it because my cooking is too good? It's so delicious that it makes you cry. That's not it. Ryan is such a killjoy. After eating the noodles, I got dressed and was about to leave when I heard Ryan say, Emily, after you slept with me. Can I make a request? I've read that in novels before. What do you want? Quid pro quo. He had his own agenda. That's normal. He said it slowly with a serious expression. Emily, I want to be your boyfriend. After the TV series and variety show aired, Ryan's popularity continued to grow. I took advantage of the situation. I found him some suitable roles. He also appeared in a few variety shows and endorsement deals. He called me a lot every day and sent me a lot of text messages. Emily, I'm a human being, not a mule. Can't you let me rest for a few days? Forget about tired or not. I haven't seen you for days. I really miss you. Emily, I never reply to these kind of boring messages. I'm currently portraying the image of a strong woman, a strict and demanding boss. Ryan saw me ignoring him. From the initial crying and protesting, it slowly turned into narcissism and flirting. He sends me some bath and fitness pictures every day, with a text. The ultimate temptation of a passionate man online chat, if it weren't for the number I knew. I thought my phone had received spam. I almost called the police. In fact, I had my own reasons for letting Ryan take on so many activities. I just didn't know how to respond to the request he made that day. Emily. Sophia from the Anderson group is here. My train of thought was interrupted. I nodded to the other person. Emily, give me Ryan back, I promise. Lucas will play the leading role in the next movie. Sophia looked righteous, as if I owed her. I didn't say anything. I just quietly watched her perform, or I'll give him that high-end endorsement overseas. In that case, you'll give me Ryan back, right? No need for that. Lucas's resources are your Anderson Group's business. What does it have to do with me? Besides, Ryan is a rising star that I worked hard to cultivate. Why should I give him back to your Anderson Group? I don't owe you anything. I don't care about image. I rolled my eyes at her directly. I've been unhappy with Sophia for a long time, at first, considering that Anderson Group is the industry leader. And Lucas has a contract with them. I did act more humbly. Sophia's father was still in power, but since Sophia took over the group, she has treated my company as their subordinate. Usually, the trivial and hard work is handed over to our company to do. The benefits are hers. The work is ours. In the past, I always had some reservations. Now I don't have to save face for her anymore. I haven't even told her to leave. Lucas suddenly barged in through the door, still acting like a self-righteous jerk. Emily, are you still sulking? Do you really like Ryan? Don't you think he's no good? He's only with you because he wants your money and resources. Can't you see that? I couldn't help but sneer. Lucas, have I given you less money and resources over the past 5 years? With your talent alone, the Anderson Group would never have invested that much money if you weren't so talented. You need to get a grip. Ryan covets my money and resources. But that's fine. I'm happy to give it to him. At least he knows his place. He knows how to behave. But you take advantage of the opportunities I give you, and you pretend to be above it all. You don't want to get involved with me. You want everything. It's disgusting. I don't want to deal with people like you anymore. I told Jessica to get rid of him, and don't let anyone else in my office who isn't important. Understood. Seeing me like this, Sophia seemed to finally understand the situation. I thought she would be furious, but she just calmly said I knew. A woman like us can find any man we want. I'm glad you understand. And my brother, well, I can't stop thinking about Lucas' disgusting face. Sophia kept talking. But I wasn't listening. 3 months later, I took Ryan to an audition with a famous director. Mr. Johnson was very popular in the industry, but he was getting old. This movie might be his swan song. If Ryan could win the lead role in this movie, he would become the youngest actor to win an award, for him and for the company. This opportunity was crucial. I always had confidence in Ryan's acting skills. Among the many people at Anderson Group, the reason I chose him is because of his acting talent. The scene of the audition is many years after the male protagonist is released from prison, seeing that the female protagonist has let go of the past and has started a new life. The performance should show nostalgia, remorse, helplessness, relief, and blessings. The emotions should gradually deepen. In the end, Ryan's smile contains all these complex emotions. Everyone present was shocked and applauded. I thought the role of the male protagonist was already secure. But then the director told me, the male lead has already been cast. If Ryan wants to be in the movie, there is still a supporting role for him. I was just about to ask who it was when Lucas suddenly appeared again. He was followed by someone familiar. It turned out to be the fan who had been crazy about him before. The girl called out, "Grandpa." It turned out to be Mr. Johnson's granddaughter. No wonder. I have long known Lucas's acting skills. He is the one who deserves the title of Best Actor. If it weren't for the money I spent, he would never have gotten the part. It seems he has found a new patron. I froze in place. Lucas slowly walked over. His face wore a disdainful smile. "Emily, do you think I owe my current status to you? Without you, I would still be the leading man. I would still be the best actor." Ryan noticed the commotion on my side and immediately rushed over to stand in front of me. Like a hen protecting her chicks, I almost couldn't stop laughing. This gesture somehow touched Lucas. His voice suddenly raised, "Emily, take a good look. Where is Ryan better than me? Do you know his background? He's just from an orphanage. Do you think he's a good person?" I really couldn't listen anymore. I told him directly, "Lucas, you're still running to my place to show off your existence. Why do you care so much you want to know if the manure truck that passes by your house tastes salty? I promise you, no one at university dares to mess with me. Everyone who knows me understands. I can go on and on for an hour without saying a single swear word. Lucas definitely doesn't know that. I was just about to show off what I can do. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Lucas is trending on the internet." There was suddenly a commotion. Everyone pulled out their phones. Someone shouted. One of Lucas' former female fans has come forward with an accusation that he had sexually assaulted her. No way. I can't believe Lucas would do that. It must be a rumor. The fan went into great detail. The time, place, and details all matched. There was indeed a fan meeting that day. She said Lucas' assistant told her after the meeting that she had the opportunity to meet her idol in private. She didn't think twice and agreed. As a result, they took her to a hotel, and something happened that shouldn't have. Afterwards, Lucas told her that it was consensual. The police won't get involved. She remembers clearly. She resisted. Now it seems the girl has finally made the right choice. Yes, I knew about this a long time ago. She also came from an orphanage. After I had achieved something myself, I often went back to the orphanage to visit. I wanted to sponsor some children like Lucas' father, pass on his kindness. That girl is one of the ones I'm sponsoring. She sees me as an elder she can trust. She told me everything with great reluctance. It took me a long time to get the name out of her. Lucas. At that moment, I felt my whole body go numb. From that moment on, my good impression of him vanished completely. Lucas's face turned pale. He kept shaking his head and backing away. Before long, the police suddenly arrived at the door and took him away. This confirmed it. Lucas shouted, "It wasn't me. This is a frame-up." Something suddenly occurred to him. He rushed madly towards me. His tears and snot were mixed together. He looked disgusting. "Emily, Emily, help me, you like me, don't you? I promise to be with you." "Help me? It was those loose women who approached me. You were always in my heart. You will definitely save me. Right, Lucas's father. I'm really sorry." I couldn't help it. Seeing his hypocritical face, I spat in his face. I said, "Fuck you, Lucas. You're disgusting. I was wrong to fall for someone like you." I was blind. I said a lot of things I didn't mean. "Lucas, you're nothing like your father. How can you live with yourself? Think about it in prison." Later, when the police took him away, his eyes were vacant. I kept saying kind things to myself. He probably still thinks he can turn over a new leaf. But I know for sure he'll never get out of prison. That girl was only 16, and she wasn't the first. It was a chaotic scene that day. I don't know how I got back to the office. Jessica said Ryan brought me back on a shared scooter. No wonder my nose was red, and I kept running a nose drip. Ryan said, "I'm the boss of a company after all." "You rode a scooter to bring me back. Isn't that inappropriate?" But he complained, "Emily." The media reporters surrounded the place. I really had no choice but to come up with this idea. From the film set to the company, it took an entire hour. You know, I had to change vehicles several times in the middle. My legs were about to give out. "You mean I'm too heavy?" "Right. Stop it, boss." While we were fooling around, Jessica told me that the results of Lucas's case were in. The girl is pretty smart. As soon as it happened, she imitated what she saw on TV and kept her underwear safe. Now there is enough evidence, no matter how Lucas pleads or finds someone to testify. He will spend the rest of his life in prison. Apart from this incident, Jessica also told me I'm trending on the internet. Someone recorded the part where I called Lucas a name. They watched it over and over again and studied it. They even praised me as a genius at cursing. They asked me to make more videos to teach them some tricks when I have time. Ugh, this is really embarrassing. Later, the director came to see Ryan again. He was very sincere. He wanted to ask him to play the leading role in his movie. I've already found a better role for him. Let's stay out of this. What luck. Later, thanks to this new movie, Ryan became the youngest actor to win the Best Actor award in the industry. Now, everyone politely calls him Ryan the Best Actor. A few months later, there was suddenly an explosion in the office. Everyone, look, Emily and Ryan are trending on the internet. The internet says that Ryan is being supported by Emily, so they have very good resources. They also say that Emily is rich and powerful. She is fickle. After she found out what happened to Lucas, she immediately dumped her old lover. She found a new lover. Ryan would rather die than do it. But Emily used both carrot and stick. He finally had to give in to her. What's all this about? It's all nonsense. The young girls at the company are hot-tempered. They love and hate very clearly. They insist on suing those netizens for defamation. I've lived a few years longer than you. Of course, I understand that the more you care about online public opinion, the more confused you get. The best way is to ignore it. Time will heal. Besides, Ryan and I are actually in a relationship. I just calmed everyone down. But then it got worse again. Ryan clarified the situation on Twitter. He said that his relationship with Emily was not what everyone thought. In fact, he was courting Emily. Wow, that's intense. Ryan posted a lot of photos of Emily that he had secretly taken. Emily speaking on stage at the launch event. Volunteering at an orphanage. Isn't this a secret love affair? Could it be that Ryan has known about me for a long time? I immediately dialed the familiar number. "Ryan, are you crazy? Your career is just taking off. You'll lose a lot of fans if you do this." There was no response from the other end. Only a heavy sigh could be heard. Have I gone too far? I didn't mean it like that. Ryan, I'm not finished yet. A light laugh came from the other end of the phone. Emily. Just be my girlfriend, okay? Ever since I met you at the orphanage, I've truly understood what it feels like to like someone. To me, the leading man is just a way to get close to you. What I've always wanted is only you. Hearing this, I couldn't help but smile. The smile was like a flower blooming quietly, silently revealing the secrets of the heart. I couldn't understand it either. From when on, my heart began to gradually move closer to him.